Let's just see here. I think we are doing all right now. Hey, Moose, Tom, everybody, Scotch for Dummies, I think are still with us, and good show as always. Appreciate it. Had a good time. Yeah, I was doing the Bunnahabhain Kurakvona, and that's a pretty decent one. You got to be in the mood for some peated. Pretty strong flavors. This 50%, and but it's travel retail. It's hard to find. It's a 1 liter bottle though, which is always a plus. I do like the Arena Grena better than the Crookvona. So if you're just gonna get one Bunnahabhain that's travel retail, I would go with the Arena Grain. But the Crookvona is pretty good too. I mean, it's you know, you, you kind of got to collect them all. They're like Pokemon. That's how I feel, at least. Hey, Lee G, good to see you, man. Where are you? I hope you're in Virginia. um, Speaking of, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of distillery salsas that we're going through. Lee, Paul, Prene, Scott, and I have had a venture through all the Scottish distilleries. I kind of got into it with them in round 3, though. I missed a couple rounds, and I'm kind of thankfully half of them, or maybe 25%, I've already done. But we're hitting all the distilleries in Scotland, at least one bottle, and we're kind of getting towards the end of our journey. But I'm still going to go back and revisit some of those that I missed, and maybe even try a different version of something I might not have liked from a particular distillery that I thought, well, that offering might not be the best choice. Maybe if I put a little more into it, get a higher ABV, maybe it'll be better. But tonight we're going to look at, now, I did not look at the pronunciation of this, and I'm hoping it's just as simple as Glenglassaugh Port Wood finish. Glenglassaugh sounds, or Glenglassaugh. I'm guessing that's correct. Port Wood finish. They do have a peated version as well. This is just the standard 46% ABV. And thanks, Lee, for helping out with these. And also, this is an interesting one. This is kind of one that you will never really just find in a store that I'm aware of. It's only done like in a really small version bottle too. I'm trying to remember what the exact milliliters are. Lee could probably put in the milliliters. I think it's like 375, some really off the wall, 350 or 375, if I'm not mistaken. You can't get a full-fledged 750 or even 70 centiliter bottle. It's like a half bottle. And I think this is pronounced Kininvie. That sounds pretty simple enough for me. 23-year-old. Supposedly this is batch number 3, and this is 42.6. So thankfully a little bit of 40, but not by much. I wish it was a 48, but hey. The interesting also thing about this one as well is it's used in a lot of monkey shoulder blend, along with a couple other defined distillers. I'm trying to remember what they were. I haven't looked in a while, but I believe it was like Glen, one of the more prominent Glens, either Glenfiddich or Glenlivet. I can't remember which one, and another kind of off-the-wall distillery. But it caught my eye that I remember this was one of the 3 that was in that blend. So it'll be nice to really just kind of get a more specific, precise view on that. We poured these earlier, let them sit out. Got a couple coins on there. Check out Scotch for Dummies. They got some really nice coins that are good for keeping the nose in the glass until you want to really nose it, I guess is the way to say it. We're not going to touch any water. Don't show Lee this glass back here. His eyes will burn out. Lee says Glen asshole is how you pronounce it. Love potion number 9 from Moose. Slancha, Chad, good to see you, man. And Louise and Tosh, good to see you, man. And 500 CL, you can find it in Total One, Laurel, but expensive. 500 CL, okay. That makes sense. Good to see you, Mike and Keith. Dang, that collection is getting pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm working on it still. I just got that new Carriages Fino finally got it in this week, so I was happy to have that. Lee was gracious enough to provide a sample of that beforehand, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. You do have to, be in the mood for a dry dram, but if you are in the mood for a dry, acidic, salty, those are the three. When I think Fino Sherry, I think salty, acidic, and dry. But that's a go-to. That's a good one, I think. A really good finish on that. It's one of my favorite aspects of that deal. Coins are actually on the glass there. Drew. I was trying to remember who's controlling the keyboard there. Hey, good to see you, Richie. And Santa, good to see you too, man. Wow, full house tonight. I appreciate it. Good support. Please give me a thumbs up when you get a chance. And we'll look at. I'm thinking that maybe start with the Kininvie because of the delicateness. Don't want to, be tainted by any port. There's no peat in it, but maybe any strong flavors. It's a little less ABV, so maybe it might, need to stand out a little more on its own. So let's actually take a look at that one first, I'm thinking, and see what we get. Oh, wow. Huh. A little faint, but the first characteristics I got off of it was like a Japanese whiskey, which I'm happy about because I do like a lot of their profiles when it comes to the delicate, lots of nice fruit, floral arrangement, sweetness. It's got those aspects right away out of the gate just by a quick drive-by nose. It looks like the cast type on this guy is both bourbon oak and sherry oak, which I am happy about. I love a good marriage of, I can appreciate a first fill bourbon cask and that's all you get, or a sherry bomb, but my favorites are when you take like a bourbon oak or some sort of American, European, Cricus Alba, that kind of thing, and you put it with a sherry or some other cask, even peat. I like a blend of lots of different things. So it definitely adds to the complexity, I think, and the balance. I don't want my dram to taste one dimensional or really heavily just oaked or really heavily, just peated even. Sometimes I might be in the mood for it, but most of the time I want something that's got a little bit of sherry, a little bit of peat, a little bit of oak, a little bit of, sweetness, all that stuff and combined. Kininvie is a Speyside distillery that opened in 1990. Wow. I was a freshman in high school in 1990, making it one of the youngest operating distilleries in Scotland, owned by William Grant and Sons. Its product is used mainly for blends with an occasional single malt release such as this one. I'm reading this from distiller.com. They have really good backgrounds of information on distilleries if you're interested, and they have particular aspects of cask type and things on different drams. The 23-year was initially launched for the Taiwanese market in 2013 before its expanded release to other international markets. It was distilled in 1990 and spent 23 years slowly maturing in combination of both ex-bourbon American oak and ex-sherry oak casks. It's presented in a 350 milliliter size bottle at 42.6. There we go. That rounded it out pretty well. I cannot get over how much this reminds me of a Hibiki 17 or 21. That's really what I get. Lee, if you might remember, if you're still around, I'm thinking that if you remember the Hibiki 21, that Prene was gracious enough to share, that was a really damn good dram. Lee asked how I got the compass of the 10. All my bottles didn't have one. I specifically told him that don't bother getting it for me if it doesn't have a 10, because I'm a collector of the 10s. I drink the whiskey, but I like the 10s. So they made sure I got one. I'm not sure how they got it, but they should offer them. I bet you if you go with like trying to think. If you called up a shop that you normally get a lot of stuff from, they probably would send you one, Lee. If you just ordered, if you just said, "Hey, with my next shipment, send me a can for that bottle," and I bet you they would hook you up. If they don't, I would say something to them myself for you. Richie Z asks, "Why aren't there any Portwood Islands?" There actually are. Lafroig has a few actually. There's the Portwood carriages from 2013. There's the Brodier, which has a couple batches, and one unidentified batch that Lee and I have been talking about with lots of interest. I mean, the Lafroigs do the port casting; they do the port correctly. That one's great. I haven't had a Bunnahabhain port. Ardbeg does have a. It's not port. They do have a Manzanilla cask from the Ardbog. That's kind of like it. That's more like sherry, though. Trying to think of what would constitute a port cask for Ardbeg. You might be right on that. It might be. I know Kilholman has one. It did not review very well. I would stay away. As does Glendronach. It's not an island, but they do have a peated Portwood, which did not also do all that great. It's really difficult, I think, to do a Scotch and port right, and it's really difficult to do it with a peated port Scotch correctly. I think that might be why we don't really see a whole lot. I'm not sure what Lafroig's secret sauce is. What's their secret method? Lagavulin doesn't really do any casking types that are specific like that I can think of. Kalila doesn't have a port, I don't think, unless I'm missing something somewhere. Like, I haven't had their distiller's edition. I'm not sure what that's about, but I guess Lafroig is the only one, but they have a few offerings. So yeah, I would definitely look into it's hard to find as hell. It's expensive as too, but either the Brodier from Lafroig, any batch, or the Portwood carriages from 2013. It's a purple bottle like that back there. I don't have one yet. It's on my radar to get. I have tasted it. Well, actually, I had not cracked that bottle. I do have a sample of it, but I can imagine how good it is. It's very well revered. Lee saying port Bowmore 23 is port finish as well, and that's one thing I forgot is Bowmore. They're a little thin for me, Bowmore, as I've gotten better with my palate. So I kind of haven't really dove in much in Bowmore because of that. But you can't forget about those guys either. Tosh asks, is that G&M old bottling of Bunnahabhain 8? No, you probably are looking back here. And I've got some old G&M stuff. It's a Glen Turret back there. There's also a Strathmill and some other things. But no, I do not have that 8, Bunnahabhain 8 from G&M, and I heard it's really good. It is on my radar to get that one. So there we go. Sorry, you're talking about the Kininvie. Okay. Kilholman did a Portwood. Yeah, that one didn't do so well from what I've heard, though. But we'll see. I do have a sample of that. We'll review that at a certain time. Maybe with Lee. Lee is going to visit me the last week of August. Put it on your calendar. I think around the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look to see the exact date. And we're going to go through a couple bottles here and there and have a big old time. And maybe I'll talk him into getting on live and doing some really nice back and forth on what we get out of certain things. I am going to try to get maybe on location at my favorite store here called Petite Cellars. They don't do online selling, but they have a really good local Scotch selection, and maybe I'll talk with him going with me up there, and maybe I'll pick a really nice bottle to commemorate our friendship and all the things we've got to taste over the last year, and it'll be fun. So it'll be maybe a trip. we're gonna open all your stuff that I don't. Oh man. Well, there's not really much left. I mean, there are some. There's a few bottles here and there that I have not opened, but yeah, I'm sure you're probably right. The sad thing is, you probably already have all the stuff I've got though, because I don't have anything ultra rare that I can think of or anything. Maybe I do and don't realize it. I don't think so though. We'll see. Um, has 10. Moose says Docs has 10 kin mob ties. Yeah, I do have a fixation on trying to get the cans. I get really pissed if, and I did get that Bowmore 18. They sold it to me without a box or a can. I was like, you got to be kidding me, William. That's like half the fun is getting the damn box. So I'll have to find just a throwaway Bowmore 18 box. Thankfully, they're not rare. Lee says he hasn't tried the Hibiki 21 that we got yet. Man, you got to open that puppy, man. That's really nice. I know you're probably saving it for a special occasion because it is a extremely expensive taste. Probably never see it again. Oh, hey, Hoagie, thanks so much for stopping by, man. I didn't know you were even here. If I could only pick, if I could pick only 3 bottles from the background, I'd take the Springer Local Barley, the Ardbeg, and the Lagavulin and the Green Satin Pack. Good choices. Yeah, that one's not open yet, but I'll probably pop that open for Lee. And if we don't go through it all, Tosh will get a sample as well out of that bottle. That one I got lucky to find. I did some diving, and I luckily got the last bottle. I can't believe it because Lee tried to get one after I got one, and he found that it ran out. I was kind of surprised by that, but makes it special, that's for sure. We'll enjoy that. You gotta enjoy it with the people that really know it and love it. So all right, let's go back to this. I'll be talking about it all night long. I haven't even got to sip it yet. Oh man, you got really nice. I hate to. I mean, I don't want to say maraschino cherry isn't like fakey, but like a nice sweet cherry, like marshmallow goodness. Really nice floral notes there, light ones. Nothing pungent, nothing, no sulfur, none of that. It's really airy, delicate. Oh, you could get nice, just really nice sugary, like powdered sugar. Oh my, it's in my wheelhouse. I like a sweet dram, so doesn't mean it's gonna taste like that, but pears and your typical white fruits like white grapes and peaches. I really like this nose. And it reminds me of the Hibiki in a way because I could just nose it for an hour and be content with that, not even have to sip it right away. A little runny on the legs, but I'm not really surprised because the ABV is a little lower. It looks like a medium mouth coat at least. It doesn't look super thin. We'll see in a second. It's got kind of like a really nice, just basic straw color. For a 23, if they added color to this, it doesn't make sense because it doesn't have any darkness to it. I think it's natural color if I had to take a guess. I'm not sure about the chill filtering. I don't have any detailed notes. I don't have the bottle. They might be able to, put put some notes on if it's chill filtered or not. I don't have that information, but Lee says he wanted to get a Japanese flight sometime later this fall. The 21, the Nikki 17, and then the Yamasaki 12, 18. Yeah, that's going to cost you a little money, my friend, I think, on that one. I would love to do that flight, man. That would be awesome. Oh, you probably already have those bottles. Never mind. I thought you were talking about like ordering a flight like in a super nice restaurant or something. Santa says, Telex, that shelf is looking good. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. Keith says, is it bad when I see that spring make with the yellow trim packaging that my mouth starts to salivate? No, I do like that local barley. That's the, unfortunately, that's just the 10. I am glad it wasn't the 11 like I originally ordered because that does not have the sherry pieces to it. The 10 and the There's the 10, the 11 doesn't. There was one other one that does have the sherry. I think it's the 16. That's when I really have my eye on. And I might have found one, but I don't know. Once you have one, I know they're not the same, but it's kind of hard to spend another, that kind of money on one just to get, something you kind of already had. But I thought it was really good though. Richie says, "Hey Keith, that is normal." See, this agrees. This is like Scotch bar hopping, yeah. The Highland Park Nor'easter. Is that an actual bottle, or are you just making fun of their NAS names that they all come up with? To give Highland Park credit and Dalmore, they've recently done this year, just now, a recent release of travel retail exclusive, but they are age statements. Highland Park has a 14 and a 16, and Dalmore. They also have a NAS though. Dalmore's got I want to say a 16 and a 19. My years might be off, but both distilleries decided, I guess, to throw some different years in there. I'm not sure if they're much different than their standard. Like if you get a Highland Park, 12 or 15, if the 14 is more like the 15, or if it's, a lot different than the two. We'll have to see. Richie asks, and Keith is having the Spring Bank 14 as he types this. No indication of the interview regarding chiller or filtration. I'm not surprised. I don't think these guys would bother with it. And the reason why you're not familiar with it, Richie, is probably because it's mostly used for blending. They have a 17-year and a 23-year, and it's only at the 500 the 350 milliliter size level. It's extremely small. It's used in a lot of monkey shoulder. So if you've had monkey shoulder, you have tasted it, but just a piece of it. And going by the nose, man, it smells like a good piece. Let's go for a taste. I've been nursing this way too long. Oh, plenty 12 for Moose. Good call. Cast strength 15-year. Ryan says. I guess that was for the Highland Park Nor'easter. Wow, that sounds damn good. Is that what you're drinking now? Lucky bastard. I like Highland Park. They're one of my favorites. I'm not into the NAS stuff as much, but they're solid back here. You'll see the red, the green, and the orange. The very tippy top, the 12, 15, and 18, those are solid. You can't hardly beat those, in my opinion. Oh, Keith got an Old Pulteney 21. Awesome, man. That's a good. You're going to love that, I have a feeling. I have had the 17 and the 12. If it's even just a little bit better than the 17, I think you'll be really happy, because the 17 is damn good. Everyone, I'm not sure if he's still around, but he is the one that got me into the 17, because I got it for him and he gave me a sample. So, not drinking, but it is expensive. Yeah, I can imagine, man. That cast strength Highland Park and an age statement for 15 years. You got to be talking some cash for that. That's for sure. It's probably got a special casking to it too, because I know Highland Park's really into a lot of experimentation on some of their casks and the way they come up with some stuff, which makes it interesting. The Dark was the show, the star of the show at the expo in DC, and I'd love to get myself a bottle of that, but man, $300 is a lot of money. That's what makes it tough on some of these higher end bottles. I'd love to have some Odin. Oh man, but $400, that's crazy. The Light, of course, is another one that I have not tried yet. I've heard it's really good. It just gets harder when you get above 250, man. It's just like, wow, unless you get a really good deal on something, it's rough. I think it's 57.9 ABV. Wow, that's crazy high. That's insane. All right, let's have a little sip. Ooh, wow. For 42.6, it's got a little It's got a little burn, not aggressive, but it's not weak by any means. Huh. It's not as sweet as I expected it to be, which might not be a bad thing. It had a bit of alcohol in the flavor, which is surprising for 42.6. And it's got an interesting finish where it was very fast. I picked up on it like right after the palate. It's wow. I'm trying to think if that's a chocolate or if that's a something different like savory. I have to have another sip to pick that out. It's very delicate. I mean, you get your typical vanilla, but there's also lots of good sweetness in there. You still get that powdered sugar. You do get the nice light fruits. There's some nice. I guess it's not chocolate. It's more of like a toffee. Like a toffee, like a chew, caramel chew, but on the light caramel kind of thing. That's nice. Some white pepper. It's definitely refined. You taste the age in it, but it's not. It could be helped with a higher ABV, I think, and maybe. Hmm. Have to dive a little bit more into this and get some more stuff out of it. I've gone through 3 bottles of Old Pole Day 21. Third one almost done. Wow. I could tell Richie Zila really loves it. Moose likes it. Yeah, I don't know anyone that does not like the 21. But I will tell you, when we went to when the expos, the DC one, got where was it going with this? Old Pulteney has changed to 25 and 35. And if I remember right, Lee might, if he's still around, can correct me, but I think the 25 was the one that was really soapy and no one really got into it. It was kind of disappointing. The 35, I think, was the one that tasted a lot better, if I remember correctly. I might get those reversed. It might have been the 35 was the soapy one and the 25 was the better one, but one of those two was extremely soapy and reminded me of like a local almond, which is not my wheelhouse at all whatsoever. Huggy is saying your shelf is very focused on islands, not joining Ricks, Abelars, and Glen Coins. Actually, on the other side, you can't see it, Hoagie. There's a whole row of Abelauer and Ball Blair, Glenmorangie, Tomatin, Ben Reich, Longmore, Glenkinchie. Let me think. What is that over there? McAllen and Deanston. So it's representing. It's on the other side of the thing. Tosh thought the Old Pulteney 25 was amazing. So 35 was the soapy one. Lee's correct. Yeah, that's the first one we got because they offered 35 for the VIP pour. 25 was kind of like the secondary. The 35, man, if I spent money, like I'm sure they're going to charge for that 35, and I tasted that son bitch, I'd be so pissed. I'd be so pissed. I would be like, you got to be freaking kidding me. I think I'd have to return it to the store and be like, is there any possible way I can exchange this? Or it was borderline undrinkable for me. Like I would give it a 1.5 out of 5. That's how bad I thought it was. The 25 though was really good. That one was like a 4.5 out of 5. That was amazing. Like Tosh and Lee both said, but the Lee's got a bottle of 35, so I'm already disappointed. Well, you know what? I will say, and I forgot who it was. Yeah, 17 is awesome too, Richie. Trying to remember. Somebody earlier said that I think it might have been Hoagie actually. Sometimes you got to give a lot of either oxygen and cover your ears, Lee. Water, time. Um, you know, and with that, since you're at an expo and you're in line and you're poured like a dram like literally like that much, it's kind of sad. It makes you want to reach out and strangle the guy that poured it, but you don't really get a lot to work with, and maybe for a 35-year-old opponent, it just takes a little more finesse and a little more time, maybe a drop or so to open it up more, something like that. So we'll see. I would like to revisit it with some time and an actual sample. So Lee, if you try it again and you're kind of like, I can't find a way to enjoy it, if you don't mind sending me a sample, let me know, and I would. It's one of those I might decant like hell, and maybe play around with it a little bit and see if I can get it to good to go. Take care, Chad. Thanks for stopping by, man. Sorry, I'm really milking the time on this one. It's really good, and enjoying it with you guys. I found some Mac Edition 2s. Yeah, those are good, man. Pick those up. I got mine, thankfully, for like 95. Got a really good deal on it, and I'm not disappointed. I love that dram. I'm actually already like, I think I got like a quarter of a bottle of that stuff. It was awesome. Lee agrees. He thinks that 35 will need oxidation. Yeah, maybe open it one day and see what's what. Yeah, I would decant the hell out of that maybe and see if that soapy jet goes away. Maybe, I don't know. I have to see. Richie says I'm drinking a single grain 25 and with a few drops of water. It's a lot better. Yeah, grains especially, man. That's one thing I cannot get into. I've tried Ever Gordon and Inchgour. Not Inchgour is a single malt. Sorry, Gervon and some of those grains. And it's like I just can't do it. Even with the water, man, it gets kind of rough because the profile, just like with corn. I don't like the corn. I don't like grain. Malt, though, I love it. Malt is one of my friends. So, hey, Cato, thanks for stopping by, man. Howdy. We're enjoying a Kininvie. I think it's right, 23. We want for some more properties, but really nice, really reminiscent of a Japanese whiskey. Wish it was a little bit stronger, maybe, but that's the only, like ABV, but that's the only thing I would really change about it. I don't know. I mean, it might not be exactly in my wheelhouse, but it's hard to deny that nice nose. I mean, great, better than nice. Fantastic nose, outstanding palate, and a decent finish. Might be a 4.0 or 4.25, I'm thinking. Oh, Richard Z says it's a Cameron Bridge. Yeah, I think we did try that, and it was not something that I enjoyed particularly. But the good news about the greens, the higher the age, the better it tends to be. So when you get above, the 12s and the 18s and such, it does make it a lot better. Tosh asks Lee, did you get your hands on your Mac Edition 4? Yeah, that's on my radar too. I'd love to get my hands on a Mac Edition 4. That would be fun. I haven't seen it at my store yet. I'm not sure when they're going to get one, but it's definitely going to be in the radar. I still got to get a 3 too. 3 also, I should say. Cato picked up the niche point from Talisker. Yeah, I bet that's going to be good. I got a sample of that. Haven't touched it yet, but that's on my radar to try. Oh, I love Talisker. The 57 North was good. Darkstorm was excellent. The Stolar's Edition is one of my favorites, as is the 10. Talisker rarely does anything wrong, in my opinion. 18 is glorious. Kiddo's looking forward to trying it. I am too. When I open it up and do a review, I'll hopefully you'll be able to come by and enjoy as well, Kiddo. Lee's saying he hasn't started searching for deals in the Mac Edition 4 yet. Yeah, I think he's still looking for a win. I'm with you, Lee. I would love to have. After I had the 2 and I fell in love with it, I do really, really like the 2. Sadly, I think it's probably the best of the 4. Just going by what I've heard. Minus the 4 though, because it hasn't really been properly reviewed, I don't think. But regarding the 1 and the 3, I think the 2 typically reviews better. So I'm glad I had the option of getting that. I would love to get my hands on the 1, but man, the prices on that thing is insane. It's going to be one of those things you're just going to have to get lucky, I think, and find it in, some off the wall mom and pop Prince George's County store that has one dusty in the back of the shelf somewhere. I'm hoping one of us gets lucky because I'd be all over that sucker, and I'm gonna drink it. I'm not gonna just let it sit on it. So there you go. Ryan says the 4 just came by him. Yeah, we're unlucky here on the East Coast lately. I'm not sure what the deal is, but the Fino for the Lefroy was late as hell. The Macallan Edition 4 was late as hell. Some of the Glendronach stuff has been late. It's just late over here for some reason. And usually we're pretty quick, so I'm not sure what the deal is, but they need to change whatever's happened. It's driving me crazy. Tosh says that heard lots of good things about it. Can't wait. I guess he's talking about the Mac 4. Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping that it lives up to the hype on that because the 2 is outstanding. The 3 I haven't tried, but I heard it was kind of maybe not as good as 2. The 1 I heard was actually not that good at all. I'm surprised the prices are that high on it, but we'll see. Maybe it is that good. You never know. Kato says I've had them through in the Talisker 30 to keep shit cost reasonable. I had them through in the Talisker 30. Wow. That is crazy. Oh, for the niche point. Yeah. Wow. That's a good package there, man. The Talisker 30, man. I can imagine that. Just nobody buy the latest 25. Very, very disappointing. Hoagie says, worse than the 18. Very watery. I was shocked, as were all the folk who tried it with me at a whiskey fair recently. Yeah, that's one I've heard of all Taliskers. The 18, the first time I had it, I didn't really get what the fuss was about. The second time or third time I tried it, I appreciated the floral aspects of it more, even though that's not really what I looked in for a whiskey. So it kind of, I guess it, we'll see, but the 25 I've heard is definitely not a no go pretty much across the board unless it's an older version, maybe. But the latest 25 I've heard is kind of a letdown. So Hoagie I think is on with that one. Sadly, it's kind of weird to hear a plus 21-year-old Scotch be kind of disappointing. Lee is asking if I send you a pour of that niche point. I did finish my bottle the other night. I saved you a pour. Let me double check that real fast. I've got. I'll be right back. I've got a few bottles over here that. Let's see. 57 North. 57 North. I thought it was the niche point, but it's the 57 North that Paul sent a while back. Do not have that niche point actually, Lee. I just have the 57 North that Paul sent with us on the from the expo. So if you don't mind, if you do have that, but if you already have that one, I'll just drink. No, don't drink it. Please don't drink it. Please don't drink it. I have not tried that, and that's a hard one to find. So if you don't mind, when you come by, maybe bring that along with you, and I will try to send you home with a couple things if you want to take them with you to make up for it. I really appreciate it. Ryan says that I don't know how some states get their stock before the East Coast metro areas do. Yeah, I think Chicago's got some sort of special thing going on recently. I don't know if the mafia's involved or what, but it's pissing me off. Lee says, I've heard about the Talisker for 25. I have bought all that, but I can't believe it's bad. No such thing as a bad Talisker. That's what I'm thinking too, but I've heard pretty bad horror stories about the 25. Even the Scotch for Dummies, I think, had a bad experience with it. Hoagie says, if you ever had a chance to try an older Talisker 25 from when they still were cast strength, okay. They're super intense, glorious rocket fuel. That sounds good to me. What's it worth to you? Well, I'll send you home with something, Lee. Don't worry. Richie Z says still in the count of 4 at total 1 as of today. Wow, that's sad, man. Okay, let's get to this guy, this Glenglassaugh, something like that. Port Wood finish, 46%. Let me get rid of this Kininvie information. And released in November 2017, so not that long ago, Port Wood finish is one of 4 single malts in the wood finish collection, the first wood finish bottlings in the distillery's history. All 4 no age statement, they should be non-age statement, single malts aged first in first fill American oak barrels. The whiskey then transfers to their respective casks for up to 2 years. Port Wood for this release. Okay. So we get 4 no age statement single malts aged first. You're not sure how long it is in the first fill oak American barrel, and then 2 years or so in the Port Wood. Okay, I'm with you. Glenglassaugh Distillery reopened in 2008 after being mothballed for over 20 years. Ooh, that's scary. Each is bottled at 46%. First fill American oak, finished in Port Wood. Okay. So this is going to be different. Let's have, not bad. Let's have a palate cleanser real fast. Yeah, Tamar is probably running the mafia there down for Whiskey Town in Chicago. I'll have to get in and go with him, see if I can get some bottles sent out here, man. It's really sad. You can't hardly find anything new anymore. Like he says, Lee, well, if you like an older Talisker Sky, go for the recent 25. Ooh, Sky is, yeah, that's that new, that's that non-age statement. I don't think that does really well, but we'll see. Rasmus Malka says they just bring them back for it, and he doesn't even have to order it. That's crazy. Lee's like, yeah, I hope the Talisker 25 is better than any Sky. Yeah, I hope so. All the Glenglassaughs on the shelves now are young. Yeah, that's kind of sad, but aren't these the guys that do the Torfa? And I have had if this is the distillery I'm thinking of, was it the Torfa? Yeah, that was a really good dram. I have had the Torfa before, and I like that one a lot. It's a peated single malt. It's I gave it like 4 stars, I think. I mean, yeah, I said the nose was filled with a slight sweet peat, cotton candy, ginger, and apricots. The palate brought oak, black jelly beans, heather, honey, and brine. The finish had a general of like smoke and sweetness that lasted about a medium length. And non-chill filter, no coloring added. It's definite bonus. 4.5. I really enjoyed that one at Torfa. Hopefully, this one is reminiscent of that, but it's so new that I could be disappointed. The Revival is one I haven't tried yet, but I've heard it's pretty decent. I need to try that one, Richie. Has anyone else tried the Torfa and liked it as much as I did? I really like that one, I think. You definitely you can get the port off the nose. It's really, really nice. Kind of some purple Concord grapes and some plum action. No peat, but this isn't the peated version, so I'm not surprised. No smoke, really. Maybe a little sawdust, but nothing bad, nothing overbearing. It's probably the oak speaking to me. Hmm. Maybe some distant milk chocolate in there. I'm detecting. It's kind of subtle, but for a 46, not surprising. But that is a nice ABV. Better than a hell of a lot better than 43. um, Hoagie saying that often people exaggerate if something is not quite up to par, but the recent 25 is really shockingly watery. And it came from an official Diageo event, not some bar where it laid open for years. Wow. And Lee saying, yeah, he's heard that too. Both Storm and Dark Storm. Hope the Port Rui is at least decent. I have had the Port Rui and Brie. I'm sorry, Port Rui is how you pronounce that one. And I remember that I enjoyed it, but the finish was a little dead to me, I believe. Let me look at that one real fast. The Port Rui. Maybe if I could type. There we go. That is a European release and typically not available in the US, but I was able to get a sample of it. I remember I said red grapes and heavy oak on the subtle nose, distant peat smoke, along with some chocolate. The smoke lingers with oranges. And Prene agreed with me that the finish is missing in action. Um, I think it's kind of immature, but you know, I'm not sure what the price on that guy is, but it's probably not completely expensive, so it might not be you know not horrible, like you said. I mean, I don't think any Talisker is gonna be horrible, but I think that is probably along the lines of the 25, where it was just kind of like just didn't have enough oomph to it for to be called a Talisker. So, but I enjoyed the flavor of it. It did remind me of like a lot of chocolate oranges and nice palate and a decent nose, but the finish just wasn't there. Hmm. Maybe there is some smoke on this. It's weird. It's like maybe I'm picking up a savor. Probably that port. It's almost like translating to a smoke afterward. It's kind of like a secondhand smoke. Hoagie says, "I wish you all the best with 25. Of course, maybe we get an older batch by chance. Yeah, I would love to find an older batch of the 25. Just that way, if I do ever get to 25, it'll be a one-time thing probably for me. At least it'll be a good version of it." Hmm. This looks a little dark. I think it's probably going to be colored if I had to take a guess. 46 chill filtering is kind of iffy. Don't have the bottle on this one, Lee. You might have to help me out with some notes if it's chill filtered or colored, but I think it is colored. Um, Probably chill filter, but hmm. Wow. Okay. It's got some nice effervescence at the end of that. Wow. But it does bring that port. Definitely get that nice fruity flavor in it. It lasts a while. Hmm. Easy to sip, but is it enough fruit? That's where I'm kind of like, oh man. It's got some nice savory notes to it, but I'm not getting a lot of more fruity aspects of it. It's got some nice white pepper going on, but a little dry too. That's port for you, though. I might not just be a big port fan. I don't know what it is, but they're not all dry, though. I don't think. Hmm. This might need a little, don't look, Lee. Close your eyes. It's got a nice, effervescent white pepper. It wakes up your tongue. It's got a little alcohol burn, but it's not bad. It's got this really interesting, like raspberry blueberry finish, but it's not in the initial palate. It's like I mean, there's some cream there, like raspberry cream, and it's really subtle though. It's not I guess the immaturity is really killing this one. Let's see if just a drop. I mean like a minuscule drop helps this one at all. Because I'm just saying it's not, I guess the blueberry is what it might be throwing me off. I'm not a big blueberry fan unless it's a blueberry muffin maybe. Blueberries are kind of one of those fruits where I really have to be in the mood for it to like the taste. Swirly, swirly, no shaky, shaky. Yeah. Sorry, I'm giving my food quick anaconda out. I guess maybe I need to give it a deep swirly, swirly. Oh man, still getting that Pop Tart on the nose. Getting a little bread, a little more of the savory pastry in there. This is all about like a blueberry raspberry Pop Tart is what I really get out of most of this thing. Not really something I like, but I could see that where it would appeal to some people. Hmm. The blueberries, man, I could do without, but we'll see what we get. The creamy butterscotch ending helps. The water, I'm not sure if it really changed much about it. I don't think it's got the maturity to really be complex. It's a nice taste. I mean, I've definitely had a hell of a lot worse. But is it like, it's not a torfa for by any means. It's not that. It's not like that. This is it's probably the price point's probably a lot easier on the eyes than the torfa too, I imagine. It's not bad though. It's one of those that I think I'm just going to have to slap a 3.5 on it because I can see where people would appreciate it, and if you do like blueberries, you'd probably be more into it. I do get the portwood on the nose more than anything else. It's there slightly in the palate. The finish, it does have that remnants of the raspberry, blueberry, blackberry kind of combination, but it starts heavy with the nose and it gets fainter, yeah, fainter and fainter as you experience it. So it's kind of not a letdown, but just not, something that I would really ever want to revisit. I think I wouldn't go buy a bottle for myself, but if someone liked those types of attributes on a scotch, then I would definitely would recommend it to them. Definitely, if they like the that pop tarty kind of cereal experience, I guess is the word for it. Richie says, I only have a Talisker 10. I can only imagine how good the 25 must be. Well, be careful. That, like Hoagie was saying, the 25 is not as good as the 10 from what I've heard by many people. So, I mean, the 10 is a solid dram no matter how many bottles I've had, where I've had it. 10, you can do no wrong. Distiller's Edition, same thing. $82, great bottle, wouldn't change a thing. Dark Storm is kick-ass, Travel Retail exclusive, but if you can get it, it's badass, awesome. I would buy it out every day if I could. It's just that 25 you got to be careful of. So wait, Lee says, what do you guys mean is the newer Talisker 25? That's noticed my bottle is from 2011 batch. Huh. I'm not sure how old he's thinking. Let's see what he says. Richie says it took me years to like port whiskeys. Yeah, I do like that. I did like that Springbank port cask I had. It took a little bit to grow in me, but I do appreciate that. It had like a lot of basil, herby, like sage kind of notes to it, along with the raspberry compote and all that. I dug that. That was good. This one doesn't have that complexity though that makes it more interesting, and that's why I'm slapping just a basic 3.5, 3.5. I think is fair. I might ding it a little more for certain things to a 3.25, but it's teetering between those two. Hoagie says specifically that means the latest 2017 bottling. 2011 is supposedly pretty good, actually. Good for you. Wow. Awesome, Lee. You might have to bring that with you. No pressure. Wow, I would absolutely love to. Wow, we might have to talk about a trade or something, Lee. I got to get that bottle. Even if you drink the bottle or whatever, I want to get the bottle in the can from you, box or whatever. Oh man, that'd be awesome. Kato says my 30-year-old is also a 2011. Awesome. Then you guys got lucky then, I bet. Hokie says T30, the Talisker 30, is supposedly more consistent, but I can only derive this from whiskey based contrary to my actual 25 experiences. Yeah. Ryan says Tomatin has a portwood finish. The Kilchoman spent its whole maturation in port pipes. Maybe. But I tell you, man, that Kilchoman, Lee's already tried it, and I've heard a couple other people try it and was not very impressed by it. So you might want to be careful about the port from Kilchoman. I can say the Sauternes cast from Kilchoman is awesome, as is the red wine, the Sinag, the original cast strength, and the Loch Gorham. Those are all prime, ready to go. I would buy them, no issue. The port, I haven't done it myself. I do have a sample of it. We'll review that in the future. But that one's going to be a little iffy. I'm thinking, but I'm going to go in with positivity, give it its full focus, and maybe it'll get better. But I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. We'll see. Hoagie says, Lee G, if you get a chance, pit yours against the 2017 version. Yeah. See why you don't want to get the ladder. Yeah, I bet it's a good idea, Hoagie, if he can get his hands on one. That's interesting. Moose says, I'm starting to like my Tomatins the more air they get. Yeah, the Tomatins do get better with oxidation. I really like that Decades. If you guys ever get a chance to get the Tomatin Decades, I definitely recommend it. I thought it was a damn good bottle. It's technically an NAS, I guess, but they tell you the years of all the caskings that it comes from, and it goes back to like ancient stuff. I mean, like old stuff. and it goes about like the last 50, I guess, years, and they have like 5 different ones. So there's like the one from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the oats. So I would definitely, if you can find it. I got lucky when I found mine. I don't see it anymore, but if you ever do see it, I would snag it all day. It's really good. It's one of my favorite tomatins that I've ever had. Lee says he just opened a good batch of Telex for 25. I thought you meant all 25. Oh no, you just opened it, Lee. Oh well, it sounds like you're gonna have to pour a sample or bring it with you. I'm sure you'll find another one at some point. Is that the 2018 edition? I'm not sure which one. Oh, if you're talking about decades, no, that one's from like 2015, I think, is when it was released initially, and that was like the only release I think there was. My Portwood references are still been right. 17 Solstice, another 18 single kit. Yeah, those are probably good. I haven't had those yet. I gotta try that. There was an earlier batch of Cullen Port that may be pretty good, but the 2018 release is pretty bad. The Solstice Spin Rank is legendary. I don't know if I've had the Solstice. I've had the Septendecim. That was good. Spin Rank. I had a peated. I can't remember which one it was, though. It might have been the same thing. I can't remember if the Septendecim was a peated one or not, but I remember it being good. Hoagie says, sorry for that. No, I was only talking about the recent weakest batch, although they've gone downhill for some time now. As far 2011 is supposed to be very good for a non-cast strength version. Interesting. Okay. Well, we all learn. That's what's great about these channels is we all learn something, every day that we get to talk to each other and pick stuff up and experience, and that's part of the fun. And I really appreciate your all's patience and hanging out and sharing information and in salsa trading and all sorts of stuff. So hopefully we can keep it up, and I can work on building my empire. I got other walls to cover in the back here. That's another story for another time. But thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap it up, but it's been fun as always. And thanks again, Mr. Lee, for helping out with the sponsoring this episode, as you have numerous times. And hopefully, the ones I send you at least somewhat are interesting enough to make up for it. The Kininvie is a keeper. I do like that one a lot, and the age itself speaks volumes. The Glenglassaugh, that port wood finish is kind of iffy, but hey, if it's not expensive, which I don't know the price point for it is, but if it's not out of the question, if it's 50, $60, I would definitely not turn anybody away from it. I think it's great for a sipper kind of thing. I wish that the finish was a little better, not as dry, but I can't be too bitchy. Or maybe I can. That's my job. But it'll be interesting to get some other ones. We've got lots of other ones to look at. We've got a really special Tamdu dram that's not a batch. It's a special one from Mr. Paul. That'll be fun to do, as well as a Blair Thole Flora and Fauna. That'll be fun. It's also from Paul, and an Imperial from Prane. That'll be really fun to look at. A new one from a distillery that he absolutely hated. I haven't tried it yet, so Lee's wondering about my pronunciation. Yeah, I think I might have messed that one up. But yeah, we've got there's a Cable Bridge here. Someone talked about Cable Bridge earlier. I don't know if they're still around, but we do have a Cameron Bridge by Exclusive Greens, 52.9, 25-year-old. This is the same one, I think, that whoever was talking about that earlier. I'll have to go back and look. This is the same bottle, I have a feeling. It sounded like you said it took some time and water, so I'll have to keep that in mind on this guy because I'm not a big fan of grain. So this is not one I'm looking forward to trying it, but uh, we'll see how that goes. Informative stream, well done. Cheers. Thanks so much, Ryan. Give me the thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already, and check you guys. Hopefully sooner than next week, but if it is next week, then that's still good. And I'm still going to try to drop some more quickie reviews when I get a chance. It's just I don't have all the bottles I want to do and all that. So gonna enjoy this Dollar 25. Man, you rubbed it in. Oh, Richie Z was the one. Yeah, is that the same? I think it was the same bottle you had, Richie, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully that'll be a decent one. I'll give it time first, and then if that doesn't work, I'll give it some water. Don't tell Lee. And Lee, I still want to have a little sip, possibly. May I have some more, sir? Of that Talisker 25. Holy moly, man! Oh, that's gotta be pretty good. I have a feeling. Well, we'll see what you think about it. Accidental badass bottle pop. Yeah, you gotta love that. Well, sorry about that. Wish that you knew it wasn't all that great before you popped it. But knowing you, if you like it, you're gonna go and find another one just like it that's not open that you'll probably save. So you'll be all good. Sláinte mhath, guys. Take it easy.